If you're like me and you've already collected all of the released fighters, I think it's time for you to check out some custom fighters. Today we have Michael Myers from Halloween. It is officially October, and we've already checked out Jason Voorhees here. I will leave a link to that video there, so why not check out another psycho killer from the movie Halloween to celebrate October with Michael Myers here. An absolute fantastic character, very, very menacing, and an absolute classic of a character. So the figurine here that I got to use as his mini, I got from the Micheal Smith, which is where I get most of these guys here, so I'll leave a link in the description to this guy. And I think they got the details just absolutely perfect. I mean, look how menacing with those deep receded eyes there. Very, very nice. And we can also quickly compare him to another Halloween favorite with Dracula here. And you can see they got the base just absolutely perfect with thickness and height there, and also proportions are very good. He looks like he belongs in the game. The only thing he's going to need is a nice dark wash on there to match how Unmatched does it, but besides that, just absolutely fantastic. And then before moving on to the deck, we can also take a look at his health dial here. And I chose this artwork here, then just added that little nameplate on there. I will leave a link to this artwork so you can get this printed yourself for your own deck. And we can also compare that to an official Unmatched one. So as I said, just a little bit different, but size and shape almost perfect. Definitely will not stand out too much and will look perfect in your collection. So let's take a look at the deck here, starting with his hero card here. And this is Michael Myers, a melee fighter with 16 health and a move of 1. Yes, this is kind of the main reason I added him to my collection. He's a very slow mover, but we'll read that special ability in just a second. But he's a slow mover with 1 there, and he's not a large fighter, so he's not going to have a lot of reach, but he is menacing. He's just slowly inching towards you, never, just relentless, never stopping, just always slowly chasing after you, you know. Just perfect for a psycho killer just chasing you. So with this special ability here, it says after an opponent maneuvers during their turn, you may move 1 space in any direction. So yeah, so that's how this special ability works. Even though he's a slow mover on his turn, every time you try to run away from him, he is just slowly chasing towards you. I do need to point out, I believe whenever I first got this deck printed, I kind of hodgepodged a couple of decks together. I believe that Cardback is not from the original one, but I could not find this original hero power. So I don't remember if I changed it to say that, or if that is an old version of the deck, but the new version of the deck actually says that you get to move 1 space after they've performed all of their maneuvers, which actually works well, because in my testing with this deck, a lot of times with melee fighters, they maneuver up to you, and this is after their maneuver, then you move 1. So you're just constantly moving 1 space away from their melee fighter, and they can never attack you. So at least how I have home ruled this is that we say you can maneuver before. So when they choose, I'm going to maneuver, you get to move 1 space, and then they move so they can, catch up to you. Or we've also home ruled it that you have to move towards them every time. So you can kind of home rule that how you like. I kind of like that depending on who we're playing with, we kind of change up this rule. But I also leave a picture here of the new special ability that the deck creator put there. So you can also print that one off if that works best for you. The joy of a custom deck is that you can customize it to your taste. So yeah, keep that in mind. He is a 16 health fighter with just that 1 move, but he always gets to move towards you. So very, very cool. So we can get kind of crack into the deck here. And this card back, I just absolutely love this kind of sepia tone, kind of orangeness to the back. I said this card back was from a different deck. I can show you what the original looked like. I just ended up adding this border and then the name on the bottom there. But the original deck that I got this from had this card back. So you can also use that one. Once again, with a custom fighter, you get to customize it to your likes. This is the one that I liked. I love just the orange tones with him just standing there. The only white in the image is on his blade and his mask. Very scary. But yeah, let's crack into it. Starting with a perfect card for his deck, a 6 attack for Myers here with 3 boost, 2 copies. And this is Fatal Blow. Just a nice big, smash into you with 6 attack. And we get 2 of those. So starting out the deck, nice and scary. And you might notice with the deck, I would say it's slightly stronger than a couple other custom decks that I've shown. But I love that about him, making it that whenever you're fighting Michael Myers, it is scary. You have to plan these right, or else he's just going to constantly beat you down. I said the first one here, nice 2 stabs with 6 power. And then next here is a 3 attack for Myers, and this is 3 boost, 3 copies, and this is Ambush. During combat, you may boost this attack. So potentially also 3 more 6s, but of course you have to discard a card to do so. And then next here is a 4 attack for Myers with 2 boost, 2 copies. And this is Surprise Attack. After combat, if you won the combat, choose 2 cards in your discard pile and shuffle them into your deck. So it could be, any of these high power 6 cards. So he's definitely very, very scary. I mean, look at all those attack cards. When he's hitting you hard. And then we can move on to our defense cards here. So it's a 2 defense for Myers with 4 boost, 2 copies. And this is Indestructible. After combat, choose 2 effects. Either draw 2 cards, recover 3 health, or move to any space. So, you know, that could be, let's say you're fighting a ranged fighter. That move to any space can be very crucial because they could be keeping just far enough away from you and you just move right up next to them. That's the last action of their turn. And now you're going to attack with one of these big, huge attacks. But also, you know, recovering health after taking damage potentially, or drawing 2 cards if this is the last card in your hand. So definitely very, very scary cards. And you'll see this whole deck is just very scary to play against. Next here is a 3 defense for Myers with 1 boost 2 copies, and this is Halloween Kills. After combat, Michael Myers may move up to 4 spaces. So once again, even though he only has that 1 move, even with that special ability to move 1 more space each time, he has a lot of ways to get up towards you. So even ranged fighters are scared of this dude. He's just kind of keeps creeping up on you and keeps popping up whenever you least expect it there. And then next here is a last defense card for Myers here, a 0, always love when they do that, with no boost, and this is 1 copy, and this is Evil Never Dies. During combat, if Michael Myers would be defeated, prevent all damage and remove Michael Myers from the board. At the start of your next turn, place Michael Myers in any space in his starting zone. So I think that's very thematic. I believe in his movies, they constantly think that he's finally been killed and he keeps showing back up. So this one is a very fun card where you want to play it right when you think you're going to die. Then, you know, he's removed from the board, he's gone, but then once your turn starts, he's right back at it, and it's any space on the board, or sorry, in his starting zone. So he just pops right back up and he's attacking you again. And one of these kind of cards are always fun to me. I love whenever you're like, okay, I have 2 health left. This is the perfect time to play it. I'm going to take 2 damage and die. And they attack you with a 1, and you just wasted this card. All it did was give you 1 damage. So I love that they only have 1 of these, and I love that it's like you have to do the perfect moment where you think you're going to take just enough damage to die. Very cool. And that's the last of our defenses there. And the next here is our Versatiles, a 4 Versatile for Myers with 2 boost 2 copies, and this is the Shape. After combat, either recover 2 health or draw the top card of your discard pile back into your hand. Very cool. So he's healing a lot. I mean, you've seen a lot of heals in here. I mean, once again, I'm not going to say that this deck is super, super balanced or super, like, you know, fair to play against, but I love that he is just scary. He's almost a boss character in a sense. And of course, reshuffling those cards back into your deck. So if you just played that 6 Fatal Blow, it's coming right back. He is very, very scary. Next is another Versatile for Myers, a 2 Versatile with 2 boost 2 copies, and this is a Relentless. During combat, look at the top card of your discard pile, add its boost value to this card's value. And we've seen a lot of 2s and 3s, so this could be up to a 5. Very, very scary. Once again, I mean, how many times would you say this guy is a just scary serial killer just coming right after you? Next is a 2 Versatile for Myers, 2 boost 2 copies, and this is Homecoming. During combat, this card's value is +1 for each copy of Stalking in your discard pile. So if you've not seen that yet, I believe there's 3 Stalkings, so this is going to be up to a 5, and then we have 2 of those, so technically 2 more 5s. And then this one here is a 2 Versatile for Myers, 1 boost 3 copies. And this is Being Watched. Immediately cancel all effects on your opponent's card. So basically just a feint with a new name, but we get 3 of those. And then next here is a 3 Versatile for Myers with 2 boost 2 copies, and this is Cornered. During combat, if your fighter started this turn in a different space, this card's value is 5 instead. So just a fancy name, but this is basically Momentous Shift, just with a new name, but always like to have those in the deck. And the next here is that Stalking card that we heard about before. So yep, there are 3 of these. And this is our first Scheme for Myers with 1 boost 3 copies, and this is Stalking. Choose an opponent, place Michael Myers in the same zone as one of their fighters. So basically just use up an action to just get right next to any opponent on the board. So you're not escaping this guy. It doesn't matter that he has a move 1, he is constantly popping up anywhere. And the next here is a Scheme for Myers with 2 boost 2 copies, and this is Frozen in Fear. Choose an opponent, look at their hand, and choose 1 card from the discard. So very cool. I mean, hey, if they only have 1 card left, this is basically play an action to give them 0 defense and then attack them with one of your like big 6s or something. I mean, come on guys, he is scary. And then our last card here is a Scheme for Myers with 2 boost 2 copies, and this is Dark Omen. Draw 2 cards. If Michael Myers is the only fighter in his zone, he recovers 2 health. So I like this. I wish there was a little bit more of these effects in the deck, but I like that if you leave him alone, like you're running away from him too much, he gets a special bonus like recovering 2 health. So definitely he has a lot of health that he can gain and a lot of big attacks in this deck. But yeah, let's take a look at my final thoughts. So as I was saying during that whole deck overview there, I mean, this dude is just scary with these big, huge 6 attacks and all those ways to get up to a big 6 or more. Michael Myers is just terrifying. I think he very, very much represents his character from the movies. Just constantly stalking after you, popping up whenever you think he's like no longer following you, or after you kill him, he comes right back and just demolishing you. So yeah, once again, I'm not going to say that this guy's the most balanced deck, but I think he's super thematic. So he's very fun to play as because you just feel like you have every option, just keep attacking your opponent and they just keep fleeing from you. Or as you're playing against him, it's like you gotta you gotta create the right amount of distance, or be ready for all these huge attacks. Just slightly get away from it every time. Very, very cool deck. Now let's see how you can make him for yourself. So if you'd like to get this fighter for yourself, I got the miniature here of Mike Myers from the Meeple Smith. They did say that you can special request in the notes a different color base. So if a different color works for you, like orange might have worked for me today, you can do so. And then the health dial I got from BoardGamesMaker.com. This is the 2-inch cardboard punch out. The only thing that you'll need to do differently is to cut out this little window as well as a hole in the middle so that the rivet fits there. But the artwork on the front, the dial, and the back, I will leave that in the description if you want to use the exact one that I used. And then this little plastic rivet, this is just an extra one that came with Unmatched. I save all the extra pieces. So if you ended up throwing those away or don't have any extras to use, right here at the Game Crafters, I did find some plastic rivets. So this is the first time I've actually left a link for this, but I will leave a link for those. I believe they're like 19 cents, 20 cents like that. So you can definitely get a bunch of these extra if you plan on making more custom decks. And then lastly, the deck itself here. Our creator is Gbox1975. I believe I remembered that correctly. But mine is just slightly different than his. As you can see, I did a different card back. I don't remember the exact deck that I used it from, but I will show you here what that card back looked like, as well as the person who created it. And then I do have to mention that the original card back is this one here, so if you wanted to end up using that one, but I will leave a link for the card back that I used in the description. And then the card, actual hero card here, the original deck actually changed theirs. He now has 2 move, and then his ability is a little bit different as well. So you can also change that one if you'd like. I'll leave a link in the description for all of those. But if you actually want to get the cards themselves printed, I also got these done at BoardGamesMaker.com. So you can just follow the link in the description for everything that you've seen in the video. So I gotta go, Maya. Toast is burning.